Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with my next comic book haul video. I haven't done a comic book haul video in a minute. And I just want to say that these are back issues between January and February, between Marvel and DC, the big two, of course. And I have some independent comics in here that we're going to show. Before I get into this video, though, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for liking, sharing, and commenting. Please continue to do so and tap the notification bell to get more videos like this as I post them immediately. And again, these are back issues and my specific picks. These aren't every single comic book that has come out over the past few months. These are specifics that I wanted in my collection, that I seen on the shows that I just had to have. We're going to first start off with the Marvel previews. Which shows basically, or this gets into all the upcoming Marvel books that'll be coming out over the next 2 to 3 months, I believe. Yeah, it says from February to April, shipping. And we start off with The Amazing Spider-Man #1. Another relaunch of Spider-Man. And I think that a lot of comic book fans probably are kind of a little antsy about them continuing to re-release Spider-Man, doing Amazing Spider-Man #1s over and over again. They just ended the, what was it called, the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, which is under the Amazing Spider-Man title. So why they're starting it over again, I don't know. I kind of dropped out of collecting Spider-Man books some time ago. For that reason, because again, they keep re-releasing them. You know, the Amazing Spider-Man, and there's so many different Spider-Man comic books, just like there's so many different X-Men comic books. I'm kind of lost. But anyway, this is going to be written by Joe Kelly with Pepe Larraz and John Romita Jr., and we're going to show you the artwork from this book. We'll premiere the artwork of this book, of this new Amazing Spider-Man series. And this is a wraparound cover, which I think is really nice. I'm probably gonna jump on board and buy a couple of these books from this new Amazing Spider-Man #1 series. It looks like it's going to be interesting. So here's some of the artwork, interior artwork, just to give you a premiere of what you'll be seeing from this series. So we're not going to read any of this at this time. All right, there you go. I do like the artwork. I'm usually not a fan of John Romita Jr.'s artwork, but I will admit I kind of like this. This looks really neat. Let's do a close up there. Excuse some of that glare. All right. In case you are interested, if you're a Spider-Man fan, let's see. And here's a variant cover. Oh, there's a variant cover by Ryan Stegman. Let's take a look at that. This is just some more artwork from the interior. And on the other side is a variant by Ryan Stegman, who I've met a couple of times before. See that there? Very cool guy. All right, so yeah. So the Amazing Spider-Man #1 again, and as I just mentioned, they just ended the what was it called again? The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. I'll probably end up getting that series as a trade paperback or something in the future, because I did want to read the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, but again, you know, there's so many different Spider-Man titles out. So anyway, all right, let's move along here. And next up, we get into Captain America, Sam Wilson, actually issue #2. And of course, you know, the movie is out right now. It's one of the most overhated movies that has been released by Marvel. Not that that is actually true. is that, as I've said before, you have a lot of haters and trolls out here, and I'm gonna say too, a lot of bigots, who try to come off as um, movie critics and comic book critics. But I've noticed from a lot of comments that I've seen online in social media is underlined with a lot of bigotry. So I don't take any of those comments seriously, and I don't even take them with a grain of salt. I just completely any type of comments that's aligned with bigotry or racism, I completely ignore them. They have no validity as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm not going to say that everybody that criticizes a film, with black characters necessarily is aligned with racism, but I know the difference. Okay, it's just like when you go out go in the bathroom and you smell a foul smell, I'll say, and you know what it is. Okay, versus going in the bathroom, and okay, all right, I think you get it. So anyway, this is Captain America, Sam Wilson, issue number 2 by Greg Pak and Evan Narcisse, with artwork by Adair Macias, if I'm saying his name correctly. The interior artwork is okay. The story basically deals with a corporation called Eagle Star, who recruits an historically disenfranchised group of African Americans to harvest and manufacture crops for a floating fortress called the Sky Dream Facility. The book features, of course, the Red Hulk, as you see here, the Falcon, and Isaiah Bradley's clone son, I think his name, Josiah X, who also is known as the Shadow Soldier. The first book I read was okay, but book 2 is actually an improvement to me on the storyline. But for those, again, who have an issue with Sam Wilson as Captain America, let me just say that this series basically it was written as a prelude to the movie to kind of hype up tentpole the film, but it has nothing to do with this story. The comic book story has nothing to do with the movie. They're two completely separate entities, just to make that clear. Also, I wanted to say too, this is not the first time that Marvel has done a book with Sam Wilson as Captain America. Okay, he's been the Falcon for years, of course, but when he actually transitioned in the comic books to being Captain America, I think was in 2022. Marvel published Captain America's symbol. Was a symbol of truth, and I actually brought the books out. You've probably seen this cover before. I actually brought some of the books out from that particular line. His symbol of truth, which was written by, I don't want to butcher the name, I believe it's Tochi or Toshai Onyebuchi, with the artist R.B. Silva, and they do a really nice job on the artwork. He does a really nice job on the artwork in this book. But this series was actually published in 2002. There were 2 back-to-back series. It was Captain America Sam Wilson, as you see here. Okay, and you can get these in trade paperback if you're interested. Symbol of Truth. I just brought some of the books out. I believe I have the entire series of this, but I just brought some of the books out just to show you guys. So here's Sam Wilson as Captain America years before the movie came out. Okay, and then they also published Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, which actually dealt with the Steve Rogers version of Captain America. It's written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Colin Kelly, I believe. And both books were running simultaneously. So here is Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. Here's another comic book with Sam Wilson on it. This artwork by R.B. Silva. And then more comic books featuring Steve Rogers again as Captain America Sentinel Liberty. That's a really nice cover there too. I really love that. So I just brought these books out just to show that this is nothing new. They're not, at the end, and in fact, in the movie Endgame, they kind of introduced you to Sam Wilson becoming the next Captain America as Steve Rogers passed the shield on to him. And then, of course, there was a Disney Plus TV show also to prepare you for this movie. So this is not something that's being shoehorned into the MCU. And it was a solid story. Without giving too much away, the one thing I really loved about the story, what it did, this is the Marvel Phase 6, if I'm correct. It introduced Animanium, which is an introduction to the X-Men, an introduction to Wolverine. It tied up some of the storyline with the Eternals, which was not one of my favorite Marvel movies, but there were some elements that were good, specifically with the Celestials. And they introduced Celestial Island, which actually, again, was the intro to Animanium. The Celestial, actually, its body is made of Animanium. So introduced that. There was a mention, of course, with Wakanda. His suit is made out of vibranium. So that was cool. It introduced the Serpent Society. Introduced, of course, the Red Hulk. The new version of Thunderbolt Ross, played, but of course, by Harrison Ford. It also hinted to the Red Room and the Black Widow. The Red Room, which is a faction of the Black Widows. So I thought that was cool. Now the actress who played the Black Widow, questionable, but she was okay. But I still like that element in the movie. So there was a lot of stuff introduced in this film, as well as a hint to the Thunderbolts, which will be coming out in May, I believe. Bucky Barnes made a cameo in the movie. So it was a lot there. And the thing about it is, all the stuff that they had, all the Easter eggs that they had in the film didn't take away from the main film itself. And for those complaining that the Red Hulk was only in the film like about 5 minutes, he was actually in there a little longer than that. But the movie is called Captain America, Brave New World. Not Red Hulk, Brave New World. Captain America, Brave New World. Okay? I think that the movie was done excellently. I gave it an 8 out of 10, which I think is a fair rating for the film. All right. Let's move on here to our next set of books. We're still into Marvel Comics. And see my little display that I have here that I use for the comic books. Next up, we get into a very popular comic book that has just been released. It's receiving a lot of positive, critical critique and response from the comic book community. If I can get these straightened out here. Okay. And that is, sorry about that, One World Under Doom. Part 1. This is part 1 of a 9-part series written by Ryan North, with artwork again by R.B. Silva. He's kind of all over the place. Hope you can see that. And I actually literally just read the book last night. One of the reasons why I haven't been doing any videos, got a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with work-wise, dealing with all this craziness in our political landscape. And then I've been reading a lot of comics too, and catching up on a lot of shows. And I actually did a Daredevil run on Disney Plus, so I can catch up on all the episodes of Daredevil before season 4 starts this week, actually, March the 4th. If you hear some birds in the background, I'm sorry. These noisy geese are out and about doing their thing. They're very annoying. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing over the past few weeks or so, or days. But yeah, so this is One World Under Doom, which introduces the rise of Emperor Doom, and again written by Ryan North, with artwork by R.B. Silva. As I mentioned, it's great interior artwork. The interior artwork is really nice. It deals with Doom as a world conqueror, which is not something we haven't seen before, but this is just a little bit more different. As we discover that the Red Skull and Baron Zemo have been killed by Doom in their attempts to try to thwart his rule. The Avengers task themselves to overthrow Von Doom's actions, but find themselves combating not only a bunch of Doom bots, but Doom himself, who's become the new Sorcerer Supreme, stealing the powers of Doctor Strange. It's a bit more than, and the Avengers actually bite off a little bit more than they can chew as they try to confront Doom. And he has, Doom always has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. So it's very interesting what is about to occur. Book 2 is headed towards shelves this month. There's going to be a lot of spin-off books too from the series, but I'm not really interested in getting any of those unless there's some kind of significant event that occurs in any of the spin-off books. Yeah, but this is highly recommended for reading. I really suggest, if you're a fan of Fantastic Four and a fan of Dr. Von Doom, definitely get this. Next up, I have the trade paperback of Gods, Marvel Gods. This is written by, as you see, Jonathan Hickman. I was wanting to get the single print issues of this book. This series was published last year, if I'm correct, but I missed out on it. So I ordered the trade paperback from my local comic book shop where I get my comics. Thank you so much, Green Brain Comics, for getting this book for me. This is illustrated by Valerio Scheiti, if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Valerio Scheiti, or Scheiti or something. It's colored by Marte Garcia, and basically they all do a fantastic job on the book. This is issues 1 through 8, if I'm correct. And again, this is a trade paperback. Let me take a little sip of coffee. My voice sounds a little scratchy. Okay, sorry about that. So since I missed the single printed issues, I always wanted to read this story in its entirety. Now I have the chance to do that. The story basically deals with mysticism and magic and keeping balance and order in the Marvel universe. It was a major Marvel event, as I aforementioned, that I just had to get my hands on. So I'm glad to have this in my collection. All right, then next up we get into Avengers, Aliens versus Avengers. This is book number 2. Book number 3 hit shelves back on February the 5th. I don't have that yet. Or I should say I don't have it in this haul. It is on my pull list. I have really enjoyed issue number 1. I thought it was really good, very well written. And I can't wait to read the follow-up. This is also written by Jonathan Hickman, with artist Issad Rabik, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. It's basically Xenomorphs versus Avengers existing in an alternate universe. It's a very good story. I enjoyed it very, very much. So I'm glad to have this follow-up in my collection. Next up, we get into Magic. This is issue number 1. And this was written by, who is it? Ashley Allen, I believe, with artist Germain Peralta, I think. And of course, this is Magic. Her real name is Ayanna Rasputin. She's a sister of Colossus, and she has magical powers. I don't know the premise of this story yet. Book number 2 is on shelves. I think book number 3 might be out. But I'm definitely for sure that book number 2 is out. So she's one of my favorite mutants. Love this cover too, which is by J. Scott Campbell. Beautiful cover. And I actually showed the short box of in one of my videos I did about a month ago with her on it. So, all right. Let's move along here. Next up, we get into Ultimate Black Panther, issue number 12. Let's straighten this out. Yeah, Ultimate Black Panther, issue number 12, written by Brian Hill. Artist is Stephanie Caselli, And we have the Panther basically battling Ra and Khonshu from the world of Moon Knight. And of course, they're disguising themselves as Khonshu with their plans of trying to take over the nation of Wakanda. All right, and the interior artwork in here is also very, very well done. Assad Rabik is one of my favorite artists, and again, I hope I'm not butchering his name. He definitely is one of my favorite artists. He does very, very good work. All right, then now we're getting into the world of Spawn from Image Comics, from Todd McFarlane, and this is one of the spin-off books, King Spawn, which uses his books use cardstock for the Spawn books. This is written by Rory McConneville and Todd McFarlane, with artwork by again, these names are just getting harder and harder to pronounce. Yildiray Cinar, I think. All right, so yep. Let me see these Hellspawn War Dogs here. And of course, McFarlane Comics continue to be the cheapest on the shelves, $2.99 per issue. Thank you so very much, Mr. McFarlane, for keeping your books at a reasonable price. And then we get into the main title, issue number 360, Spawn. And this was written by, I think this is written by Declan. No, I'm sorry. This is written by Todd McFarlane with artwork by Brett Booth. Okay, a great team of comic book artists and writer. Okay, very, very cool. Very cool. All right, let's keep it moving here. Next, we get into Thundercats issue number 11. This is from Dynamite Comics, and that cover is fire. I love the colors; they really pop on the screen, and they pop in person. I love the coloring of this. The interior artwork is okay, but the story's good. So, that balances things out. And again, this is written by Declan Shelvey with artist Drew Moss. All right. And I think I am behind on my Thundercats collections too, of books. Cardstock as well. But this is, what was it? I think this was $4.99. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Next up, we get into DC Comics. We have Absolute Batman, issue number 4. This is from the All In series. This is written by Scott Snyder. It's a very verbose book, but a good story. But it's very verbose, a lot of talking. It's an alternate, gritty, and dark take on the Caped Crusader. All right. I do like that cover, though. Then also from DC Comics, from the All-In storyline, we have Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 4. And this is written by Kelly Thompson, artist Hayden Sherman. I'm not really crazy about the interior artwork, but again, the story is great. It's a great story. This is issue number 4 of 5. So this is the penultimate issue. We're headed towards the final issue, which should be out this month, in the month of March. Right? I'm glad that we're marching right along through winter too, by the way. Next up, we have another DC comic from the All-In series. This is a foil variant. You can probably see me too. You can see me. Yeah, I can see myself in that foil. Let's step out of the camera view there. I love these foil prints that DC has been doing. This is issue number 1 of Aquaman. Aquaman number 1, written by Jeremy Adams and John Timms, and the artwork by Rex Locus. I believe it is Lucas or Locus. That is so cool. So cool. I'm trying to get more foil prints from DC as they continue to put them out. I love that, man. That's awesome. Thank you, DC Comics. And also, I'm glad they're using their new logo. That's the logo that James Gunn is using for the DC Gunn universe of films that will be coming out pretty soon. All right. And last but not least, one of comic book that I'm so very, very proud to have in my collection. This is from Stranger Comics, created by comic book writer Sebastian Jones. And I've been collecting Stranger Comics for years now. I chat with him from time to time on Instagram. He's one of the hardest working dudes in the comic book industry and does a absolutely fantastic job on his books. This is his own personal creation from the world of Asunda. This is written by Sebastian Jones and Christopher Garner, I believe. Artist is James C. Webster. I absolutely got to show you guys the artwork, the interior artwork from this book. It's some of the most beautiful artwork that I've seen in comic books, period. One of the reasons why I buy comic books is because of the artwork. And this is Dusu, one of the characters of this storyline. Okay. You can see that there. The artwork in this book is, again, amazing. Let's see. Oh, that's too much light. All right, let's see. Just want to do a close-up shot and show you some of the artwork so you can see for yourself. And it's just really a shame that a lot of comic book shops don't carry Stranger Comics. But look at that. Look at the panels here. Look at that. And they're almost like portraits. Not only do I collect the comic books from Stranger Comics, I also collect art prints from this storyline. And I've actually showed you some of the art prints in our previous comics. I'm sorry, excuse that glare there. That is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous artwork. Just wanted to highlight that there and show it to you guys. Let's show you a couple more pages. Look at this spread page, man. That's really nice. If you're into fantasy comics, this is definitely the comic book series you want to go to. And I'll put a link in the description to Stranger Comics. He has his own website and everything where you can join and become a Patreon and all that. All right, and these are the final pages I'll show you here. Okay. I mean, dig that, man. That is gorgeous. It's really nice artwork there. Yeah, so this is Dusu, again from the Tales of Asunda by Sebastian Jones. And it's autographed too. You can see the autograph. He autographed it for me. All the way from North Hollywood. And then he also sent this book to me too. This is a variant cover of, I think, Tales of Asunda issue number 1, I think, if I'm correct. But that cover right there is fire, man. That could be a portrait within itself. That is absolutely gorgeous. Very dark and brooding. Those colors, I mean, that's almost like water paint. If I'm saying it correct, or oil. It looks like an oil painting, I should say. So one of the reasons why I collect comic books is not just to read good stories, but also, again, for the artwork. And Stranger Comics, I think, as far as I'm concerned, hits it every time. So that's it. That's my little haul, my little picks. Oh, I had this too. This is just a catalog from IDW about their upcoming Godzilla stories. I think they've already done Godzilla versus New York and Godzilla versus Chicago. And here's Godzilla versus Los Angeles. So I'm, of course, a Godzilla fan. All right, so that's it. That's all, y'all. I hope that you've enjoyed my comic book haul and my little rant. Please like, share, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now, so I recommend reading a comic book to get your mind off of things. All right, thank you all for joining me. Peace, love, and he agrees.